Hi, this is our video channel, The Human World, where we talk about subjects that matter to us. This is our first video in the video series Misogyny. In this video series, we will be exploring the blight that misogyny is, its causes, and how to fight against it.
Before we start the video, we want to give some warnings and clarifications. When we talk about misogyny, it is important to remember that not all men are bad and that not all men are misogynists. Some women can also be misogynist and some women are also misandrous. However, this does not mean it's unreasonable for some women to be afraid of men. For example, by the not all men logic, Russian roulette is a safe game to play. Not all men are bad, but some of them are, as not all the chambers contain a bullet, but one of them does. Neither is entirely safe and neither is 100% dangerous either.
Feminism is not about bringing men down. A lot of people may have that misconception. It's about bringing women up and bringing down the system of patriarchy. The concept of feminism is to raise women to the same level that men are at, and by abolishing patriarchy and by extension toxic masculinity, not by bringing men down.
Misogyny, the control of women through prejudice, has been one of the oldest prejudices throughout history. Throughout the 20th century, many marginalized and oppressed groups have gained rights, like the right to vote, and have gained visibility. Today, women have more rights than they have had before. However, misogyny persists and men are still prioritized in our social system today. What is the cause of misogyny? How is misogyny shown? Why is that misogyny increasing? And above all, how can we fight it?
For example, despite many huge improvements in gender pay gap in recent years, there is still a 19% disparity between men and women. On average, the median income for women is around $55,000, while for men it's about $68,000, which is actually an increase in pay gap from 2023, where there's a pay gap of 16%. A clear example of lack of women in executive positions is that we've never yet had a female president in the United States, although we have come close several times. In general, women only take up 8.2% of CEO positions and 32% of senior leadership roles.
In order for this conversation to occur, we need to make a distinction between gender and sex. Sex is a classification based on physical characteristics that you were born with, like your genitalia at birth. Gender is a cultural and societal construct and is how you feel on the inside. Gender constructs are concepts like boy wears blue, girls wear pink. Boys and girls have different gender norms, and the patriarchy made this to prevent women from having power.
The patriarchy pushes that women are supposed to stay at home, take care of family, keep their head down while promoting men. This is another example of gender constructs. An everyday common example of this is an Indian or South Asian culture. If you are familiar with the Indian or South Asian culture, you might have noticed that women typically wear traditional dresses like salwar kameez, lehenga, etc., while men will often wear westernized clothing like a shirt and pants. This may not be explicitly stated like other stereotypes about women, but it is something nonetheless as deep, as it implies women are the one who must carry on culture and take care of family and traditions, while men get to participate in what they want to do. This is an example of misogyny and further increases the gender inequality that women face in life.
Women aren't the only victims of the patriarchy. Men are also victims of it. Even though some men are feminists, they still operate under the patriarchy. Patriarchal systems support toxic masculinity and its values of suppressing emotions, violence, and bullying, all of which are in turn harmful to men. Suppressing emotions isn't healthy to anyone, not just men. Emotions is also what make us human, and also it seems weak at times. It's not something to be hidden or ashamed of. And so even though patriarchy benefits men as a whole, it is also damaging to them as individuals.
Feminism is an ideology opposite to what the patriarchy teaches. It supports women being at the same level as men, and by getting rid of gender norms, letting women and men alike have the same freedoms, and taking down toxic masculinity. So really, feminism is a belief in human rights because it supports the idea that all people should be equal, as shown in the Oxford Dictionary. The definition of feminism is the advocacy of human rights based on the belief of equality of the sexes, and the support of human rights is a right that is believed to belong justifiably to every person.
Another important part of the patriarchy is systemic misogyny. Systemic misogyny is a more specific category of misogyny, where it's entire cultures and our social systems that suppress women, and where society teaches women that they should be hated, that they shouldn't be anything other than what men want them to be, and maybe that they even deserve it. Feminism challenges this idea by supporting ideas of equality between all genders. The fact that hatred shouldn't exist between groups of people and that no one ever deserves hate just for being who they were born as. This is not something that happens between men and women. It is something that happens between many different classes of people. To conclude, the patriarchy is a system that uses gender norms that prioritize men, which put women down by restricting what they can or can't do. So what can we do to help fight misogyny and the patriarchy?
While the patriarchy is an all-encompassing part of society, there are some actions you can do on an individual level that help fight it. You can identify gender norms and think about the effects it has on the people surrounding you. And if you want to do more, you shouldn't let assumptions or expectations impact the way you interact with individuals, because even though we all have biases, it's what we do with them that really matters. Thank you.